be operational.
The Banished are planning to fire this ring.
We need help, not heroics.
We protect humanity, whatever the cost.
But this wasn't the mission.
The missions changed. They always do.
You have one bullet against an entire army.
It's enough. What happened?
Something pushed back.
You are not the future.
Trying to kill you?
It kind of seems like it.
Let's jump into a game that I haven't jumped into a while, and I don't know why I haven't, probably just time, and is none other than Halo Infinite. Now, I have been a fan of the Halo series since probably Halo 2. Didn't get into it in Halo 1, but it was something about Halo 2. A lot of it was the hype surrounding it, but also I wasn't that big into first-person shooters. So Halo 2 was something about learning about the franchise there that really got me to want to play. So with that, I played through Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST. I never finished 5, Halo Guardians. And I don't know why that game got such a bad rap. From what I remember of it, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the changing in the story and trying to do something different with the franchise. And obviously when Halo Infinite was announced and then ultimately came out, I was excited. Just never really took the time to sit down and play through the campaign. And I always was one to play and then stop and then go back and play through some more. So here I am. I forget where exactly I was. It's still pretty early on in the game. But let's go for a spin in Halo Infinite. Now, with this, and I totally forget Halo 5 as far as the story. I feel like 4 and 5 very much focused on the Forerunners. So Halo Infinite really brings us back to the Covenant, or in this case, the remnants of the Covenant. After the Covenant has fallen apart, the remnants have banded together and renamed themselves the Banished. At least I think that's the way the story goes. I don't remember if this is just an offshoot of the Covenant now, or this is really that faction that filled in the void of the Covenant, much like the First Order did in the most current Star Wars trilogy. And it's interesting. One of the things I liked about, or have liked about this, is we see the brutes reintroduced as that menacing faction of the Covenant. I think that after the events of Halo 2, the brutes really were diminished in their ferocity and their hunger for destruction in many respects. And of course, that was obviously quelled by the fact that they were part of a collective called the Covenant. Now, as really running the Banished, that ferocity, that ruthlessness really comes into play, as you see here with these characters discussing the fact that Master Chief is still alive. So I will say, though, I have to go back to revisit Halo 5, because I feel like we got some answers to the Arbiter's fate in Halo 5, and I don't remember if we got anything as far as part of him in the beginning of this game. I have to go back and check. But yeah, I really enjoy that, or really I'm looking forward to seeing more how that story is fleshed out, and I do enjoy it as well. The brutes, especially so far playing this game, are very monstrous, and that's very reminiscent of how they were, in my opinion, in Halo 2, and how that story really made them feel. I also think that, in my opinion, at least with Halo, and this thing, I didn't play Halo 1 until after 2, so I wasn't really familiar with the Flood. I feel like the Flood's change of play dynamics was, while I enjoyed it, it took away from me from some of the aspects of the game that I really enjoyed. It just seemed like a totally different game. I just remember the ending level of Halo 3. It just, while I did not like it and I did enjoy the ending, it just took me out of the game in many respects. And I didn't enjoy that ending as much as I did the ending of Halo 2. And I enjoyed Halo 4 because it was something totally different, especially focusing on the Forerunners. And again, not being so heavily focused on the Flood, or the Flood as an enemy.
How many guns do you need?
So I really enjoyed that. And again, I never finished Halo 5, so I don't believe the Flood was a part of it, but I know a lot of it centered around Cortana and the Forerunner technology. And I'm kind of upset that I missed a lot of that. I gotta go back and revisit that. And with this, you see a lot of that sort of imagery we saw with Forerunner technology, Forerunner areas in this game, especially as the Banished tried to get this Halo ring back in operational. And you gotta excuse me, I like first-person shooters to a degree. I like Halo. I like GoldenEye. I've just recently started playing Half-Life. I'm not a Call of Duty person. I'm not a lot of first-person shooter persons. Like my introduction to first-person shooters was Duke Nukem 3D, as I'm sure many of us were. But I love this grapple shot, though. This is really cool, especially with how it's used to make impromptu bombs from a lot of the energy canisters around the way. One of the things I always like about Halo, especially with the energy shields, there is almost a dance to a fight. What I mean by that is it's bobbing and weaving, being strategic. Like, you're not going to die, but you still have to have time for your shields to recharge when you go all the way down. So it is very much a boom, boom, get in, get out, get in, get out. And as we go further, sometimes you just got to get up close and personal. So that's why I've always liked Halo with regards to how it balances that gameplay. It's one of those things about the series that, compared to when I played other FPSs over the years, it probably has some of the best balance of just going in guns blazing to duck and cover of any first-person shooter out there. And one of the things I've really noticed about that, the series itself, was going back and replaying Halo ODST, not replaying to finish it, but when I did the Game Bites a little while ago and starting to replay that, the Halo series does a very good job of setting an atmosphere. This sci-fi world, these aliens, the political intrigue and drama, the isolated city of New Mombasa that seems deserted, like in Halo ODST. All throughout the series, it has done a very good job of setting the theme, setting the mood, making the environments as much of a character as the combatants you're battling against. And I've really enjoyed that about the series. Just even with this, the polished metal hunks that are broken up and twisted, and listening to the banter that even the ring itself may be trying to hold itself together in some sort of sentience, excuse me. So here is when we start the sort of unintentional, not unintentional, more so the section of the game where I tried to do a lot of duck and cover. But duck and cover doesn't work when you don't have a range weapon. And this, I forget what this gun is called. This is a very much a get up close and cap some brutes sort of weapon. So this is just one that I end up wasting a lot of time going back and forth, getting hit, recharging my shields, getting hit, recharging my shields, trying to get some key shots off, and not really knowing if I landed anything simply because I am too far away with the weapon that I have here. I will say this though, especially in this section, I do like the enemy AI, because I can't remember the last time I played the section, and I know I kept dying, particularly because yes, there are certain parts where the enemy doesn't travel or follow behind you when you run back to retreat. But the enemy AI, as far as ducking around the corners, as far as trying to hit you around the corners, realizing that you are taking cover and still trying to come after you up into the point where the computer says they can't, that imaginary line they can't cross. I was really impressed with that. And for me, a lot of it's just being patient. And in this case, I'm going to ultimately change my play style in this section because I see that I'm not getting anywhere as far as this section is concerned. And this is running natively on my Xbox One, so I'm not doing cloud play to highlight Xbox Series X graphic for fidelity in this case. But I have to say I wouldn't say I'm impressed, but it looks good. The new engine that they're using, or they used on this one, I would say like the captain of the ship that Master Chief is on, there is something to be desired sometimes in his face, and more so like his hair and everything. It's not horrible. I mean, it's pretty good, but I just would have expected, even though this is quote unquote a downgrade from the Xbox Series, that it would be better than Halo Guardians in the same respect. So I can't say it is better like by leaps and bounds, maybe a hair or two. I will say though, and this is just, again, I'm not too far in this game, I do enjoy these locales a bit better than what I've enjoyed in Halo Guardians. But again, I liked Halo Guardians. For what I've played, I think by the time I ended up playing, I was maybe halfway through the game. So I know there was still a lot for me to see. But I enjoyed Halo Guardians. I enjoyed playing as different Spartans, which is something we hadn't really seen outside of, obviously we saw it in Reach, that's amazing. Reach is an amazing game. And I didn't mention Reach when I was talking about all the Halo games I played through. Yeah, Reach is an amazing game, Reach makes me very frustrated at the Halo TV series, because they get Master Chief so wrong, and they just making things up as they go along to try to make TV. And I literally sat there the last half of the season just say, can we bomb Reach already? Can the Covenant show up and bomb Reach already? I was just waiting for all those people to die because it was so annoying. It is so annoying watching the contrived angles and aspects of a story that they created for this television show to try to create something new and different that diverged from what we know of Halo. And while they get some things right, the stuff they get wrong just is so aggravating as a Halo fan. So here, I wasn't making it with that Covenant weapon, so I'm like, I just pulled out the handgun, and there's something so satisfying about pulling out the handgun and just murking grunts. like mop, 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 mop. Just, I don't know. Maybe that's the sadistic part of me. I don't know. It's so enjoyable. It's almost therapeutic. Again, I really like that grapple hook. I just have to remember that I have to just hit the button and then it goes. And when I hold it, it does the grapple shot, which is why in some instances you'll see the grapple come out and then you'll see me shoot because I'm just holding on to it instead of just letting it go. Yeah, I was like, what are these? I thought they were maybe some new Covenant ships, but no, this is, I will say it's amazing seeing like the interiors of a Halo ring in Halo Infinite compared to seeing the interiors of a Halo ring in, say, Halo. And the evolution of this game and design and how it almost seems like each ring is a unique entity locale unto itself, whereas you would think that with a civilization as advanced as the Forerunners and building Halo rings that they will all be very cookie cutter of each other, where if you've been to one, you've been to them all. In this case, especially traversing through the series, that's not the case. There's something that was so satisfying about destroying, I guess, one of the Jackal shields and then just like killing them. Again, that sadistic part of me. They get with the handgun, Merc and grunts. Does anybody say Merc anymore? I know I'm old school. Oh well. And also, I think with Halo, what got me into it, and it's funny because I never thought about GoldenEye like, oh, that's a first-person shooter. That's something that never entered my mind because it was GoldenEye. So I say that to say I never had that connotation of first-person shooters with GoldenEye, like I did with the genre, and I never thought they were with me, or the ones that I tried, especially how fluid and jarring like the movement can be. It really messed with my eyes, and I couldn't play for long periods of time, and that's something I'm seeing replaying Half-Life. And I got some of that sort of motion sickness playing Halo as well the first time. I think that's why I never got into it. But whatever they did with Halo 2, that sucked me in, and I literally played for hours until I beat it a few months after I initially bought it. I think at that period of time, especially when we got the original Xbox, we're talking about 03, really 03 to 04, maybe 05. I literally, if I bought it, I beat it. Every single thing. It was something. And it's not like I had time. I was literally a full-time grad student and teaching at the time. So it's not like I had, oodles and oodles of time. I guess that I didn't need as much sleep back then. But yeah, it was a really fun time, and Halo 2 was just that game that just that and KOTOR during that time, and there are a couple others that I played on and off for months on end until I beat them. And again, that story in Halo 2 is, as much as people don't like and again, I'm not somebody who goes in on legendary and like beast mode, and like that's not me. So a lot of people were not happy with that sort of cliffhanger ending in the normal version ending of Halo 2. I was personally fine with that. I had no issues whatsoever with that, and it just made me want to play more Halo when it ultimately came out. And I was right there when I bought my 360. First game I bought was Halo 3, and then ultimately ODST, and then Halo 4 when it came out. And I still like revisiting those games now.
again, I just really enjoy this game. I love the variety of weapons. It's like they're recovering weapons now. I guess they're banished weapons in this regard. And it's getting quite hairy here, so I need to back out. I feel like I'm getting flanked from all sides. Somebody there. Oh, and I am dead. And I think I'm ended there. That's it.